Hey guys, this is Fate, and I want to talk about if it's worth going back to Mabinogi. Now, Mabinogi has not been doing that great lately, and that's mostly because the decline of players. There's been new players, very little, but then there's far less, active players. There's usually people that are just AFK in the game 90% of the time. There's very little, people that actually play the game itself. Now, it's not really that bad because usually the ones that are AFK are the ones that has a shop open or whatever, or they're just AFK because, well, they just want to leave the game open. Now, I'm going to talk about the biggest issues right now with the game. Right now, there has been a huge problem with power creep in the game, and power creep started happening once a new continent opened, right? Now, it was just fine and dandy until the new continent opened, and that's when we started realizing that the more dungeons that were coming out, the more they were harder, and then Nexon's response to that was making us even more powerful, making us just becoming like gods, basically. And we started seeing huge numbers and everything, and we've been doing like tens of thousands of damage, and Nexon saw that, and their response was, okay, why don't we make enemies that are immune to certain abilities, like they're immune to melee, they're immune to magic, or they're immune to ranged abilities. And that wasn't exactly helpful in the case because, all you had to do is change your equipment and kill the enemy. Now, so their response to that was make an enemy with even more health and more resistance to damage in total. And I'm just like, oh man, I'm starting to see a trend in this game. So that's why people just left over time, because it's just like, what, you're just going to keep giving us even more and more powerful abilities just to counteract the more bullshit enemies that are in the game, when you can just rebalance the game as a whole. But they never did that. The more they added into it, the more powerful it became. Now, the game is very grindy. It's a Korean game, so it's a very grindy game. Doing, leveling up skills is grindy, trying to gather gold is grindy, everything, like, literally, you'll be trying to get to your top, get everything you ever wanted will literally take months, not just a week or two, not a month, but months, and possibly even a year or two. So it's that grindy. Now, usually they counteracted this problem by making it to where it's easier to get gold by doing shadow missions, which is like a different type of dungeon. And it made it to where we were basically getting everything just by paying other players for it. And then there was way too much going on to the game that it was just like, why would I play a game where I can literally become a god and not be killed over time? Because they give you abilities that basically make you immune to a lot of shit, or just plainly just regain health far faster than you're being damaged. It's funny because if you don't have these certain abilities, we are literally squishy as fuck. It doesn't matter if you're a elf, it doesn't matter if you're a giant, it doesn't matter if you're a human. You're squishy no matter what. But when you have these certain abilities, these skills and shit that basically make you immune to this shit, or they just make it to where you do so much damage that it doesn't really give the enemy a chance to actually do that much damage to you, it sort of breaks the game itself. So now they reintroduced the whole rebalancing of the dungeons. They did with the how much XP you gain and everything to make it to where you can go to wherever you want to level up. You can go wherever you want to, gain gold and etc. To be honest, it didn't do anything. It really didn't do shit. Power creep is there. It's actually worse now with the power creep because they made it to where these new skills came out over time, because I just got back and everything. So these new skills came out for magic and combat and all these other skill trees, and saw that it's actually the power creep is now just God. You're godly, you're godlike, and you now will just decimate whatever dungeon either by yourself or even with a group. And of course, as I saw how Nexon also saw this problem, they made it to where certain dungeons is solo, or they make it to where they have bullshit resistance, and they do a shit ton of damage that sort of counteracts your immunity, and it's just like, dude, this is getting out of hand. It's either you are overpowered or the enemy's overpowered, and it's really bad. And I tried so hard to like basically try to do the dungeons that are new out there, because they made a new dungeon where the old dungeons have a sort of different type of dungeon. There's normal, hard mode, and then there's this, it's not abyss but some other thing, right? So you're literally going to Albi dungeon, you're literally going to fucking Rabby and all that shit, right? But it's like a completely new looking dungeon with bullshit monsters. And I'm just like, oh, this is the new dungeon. It's just fucking retarded. Alright, whatever. And it put me off a lot. It put me really off on how broken the dungeon is. In order for you to actually counteract that, you have to be broken yourself. It killed it. It killed it a little bit for me. So, but I still play Mabinogi from time to time, because I like to do life skills, like cooking and metallurgy and blacksmithing and shit. So I'm trying to level those up. But the actual game itself, where you're trying to do dungeons and shit, is just not worth it. So from what I've seen, what people do is try to go around it by doing shadow missions, the easy ones, and get gold pretty quickly. Same with experience, EXP. You just do shadow missions, just like it was back then when I played. And to get everything you want, you basically just buy it from a player's shop, and that's it. And you pretty much get everything that way. And I don't really care for that. I like to earn it myself, but since the dungeons are like this now, it's not worth it now. And another thing is, like, because of the new skills that came out now, combat power has pretty much ruined trying to level up certain skills, like certain abilities. Like if you want to level up fighter, if you want to level up alchemy, if you want to level up magic and all that, you're pretty much gonna get buff fucked if you have like a skill tree, like a whole skill tree fixed. It's because the whole thing completely done. Sorry. So if you have the whole skill tree done, and you basically have this huge combat power CP, and if you don't know what CP is, the more you level up skills, and among other things, it also calculates on your health, stamina, and mana, the bigger your combat power is. And the more combat power you have, it makes it to where the enemies become, like, they go from boss, then they turn down to awful, then down to strong, then normal, and then weak and weakest. The higher your CP, the more weaker the enemy is, towards combat rating. And certain skills you need to kill, like a boss level character, boss level enemy. You have to kill an awful type of enemy, or you have to kill a strong enemy or normal enemy. And you go up to an enemy that used to have been boss for you, and now it's just strong, and you can't level up this certain skill because of that. And now, because there's no skills, if you just level up that whole skill tree, you're pretty much fucked. You have to fight monsters that are bullshit, and they'll probably fucking kill you like nothing, because you can't level up the skill, because you have to fight a normal type enemy. You have to fight a strong or boss enemy, and you're pretty much fucked. And that sort of makes it to where we are supposed to make a male character and use a raccoon cub, or you buy these little potions that you buy from the premium market, or you can buy from other players, because anything you get from the premium market, you can sell it to other players. But you sort of have to do that, or you hope to God there's an event that gives you a skill reset, like a full-blown skill reset on all your abilities to level up your skills. There's also another way to do it, by this like step-by-step process of bullshit to level up, and giving it 30 XP per skill, or for that one skill, and it's an unnecessary grind. At least in my opinion, it's an unnecessary grind, and it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. It's very stressful. It's not stressful, it's more annoying. It's really annoying. And I was hoping that maybe the events were better. So far, the events are the same. There's a shit ton of AFK events. You literally just sit there, just leave your computer on, and you get items for fucking free. Or you get whatever item you need to try to buy it from an event NPC. It's the same fucking shit. There's AFK events still, and it's dumb. It's still stupid. There's no engaging events. It's just AFK events over and over again from what I've seen, and it's really stupid. And they thought fishing was not considered an AFK event. When you fish in this game, you literally put down the skill of fishing and go AFK. Don't do shit. Just let it do it by itself. Because the little mini game that you do for fishing is complete horseshit. So people just go AFK. Fuck it. Just go AFK. You don't need to do shit. Just throw down the fishing line and go AFK. Let the items come to you. That's not engaging. You're not doing anything. You're just fucking doing nothing. And the minigame is bullshit, so why the fuck would we do it? It's dumb. It's really dumb. And they never fix that. It's the same bullshit fishing. And unfortunately, there's a lot of grinding in this game that is still unfair. There is, like I said before, there's a lot of grind in this game. There's also unfair grind in this game. So if you are a veteran, and if you want to try Mabinogi again, I would not recommend it. I would not recommend going back to Mabinogi. If you're a new player, enjoy it, but I would still not recommend it because the game right now is not balanced. It is not balanced at all. You will get frustrated. You will die a lot, and the penalties it's not as severe as a lot of games, but it's still annoying. Alright, so yeah, keep that in mind. Do you want to go back to Mabinogi? I don't recommend it, but if you do anyways, have fun. But that's all I'm gonna say about this game. Just, it's not worth it.